Yes Bank was in the news for all the wrong reasons for almost all of 2019 and 2018, with ratings analysts, equity research analysts, and many of the people on the social media even going to the extent of calling Yes Bank a no bank. In this video, we will take a look at the remarkable case of a bank which has tightened its purse and with extremely strict measures is trying to get back to where it was prior to its near bailout situation. Hello, everybody. I'm your learning partner Sushila Hariharan, and today we will take a look at what went wrong with Yes Bank, how it recovered, and how does the road ahead look. Asha, a banking enthusiast from my LinkedIn network, asked me this question sometime in the peak of the first lockdown of May 2020. She asked what's happening with Yes Bank. Maybe she has some deposits over there. That's why she wanted to know why is Yes Bank not allowing depositors to withdraw its deposits. And finally, she wanted to have a bit more detail about the AT1 holders. AT standing for Additional Tier 1 bond holders. And she wanted to know whether they are likely to get their investment backs. Thank you, Asha, for asking me this question. Because of you and your question, I got an idea to make this video. Yes Bank had made several wrong credit decisions. Okay, because of these wrong credit decisions, they landed up with a big pile of NPAs or non-performing assets. It had exposure to two very big NBFCs. One of them was Reliance Capital, and the second was ILFS. Reliance Capital, owned by the Anil Ambani Group, had defaulted to the extent of almost 1,400 crores to Yes Bank. ILFS also had borrowed extensively from Yes Bank, and Yes Bank had also lent to multiple SPVs, that is the special purpose vehicles of ILFS. In fact, this second one, that is the exposure of Yes Bank to ILFS and its SPVs, was so murky that there was not enough of information that was available to understand what is the extent of Yes Bank's exposure to ILFS. And of course, the biggest slice of it being the exposure to Vodafone. All these three companies were the top three portfolio, occupied the top three of the NPA portfolio of Yes Bank, causing Yes Bank to report a soaring NPA portfolio. So, what happens if the non performing assets increase? It's very simple to understand. What would happen if a non performing asset portfolio increases? If the non performing asset portfolio increases, the bank has to write off the asset. When it writes off the asset, it means the profitability of the bank takes a hit. So, by writing off a portion of the assets, the profitability of the bank is taking a hit. When the profitability of the bank decreases, the bank then faces severe liquidity issues as well because depositors start getting worried. Is my money safe with the bank? And if they feel that it is not safe, they will all rush to the bank to collect the money out. Depositors' withdrawals were rampant, causing a liquidity crunch. And all this also resulted in the AT1, that's the additional tier 1, bondholders were not likely to get their capital back. That month of January 2020 was when all these problems came to the public attention through social media, through mainstream media as well, as to why all these problems were not caught at a timely basis. But that is another discussion, that is for another day. RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, does not like to have banking failures. So it quickly came into the picture and put in place a remedial package, almost like a bailout package that the American banks got during the global financial crisis of 2008. What it did was it stepped in to assure the depositors that your money is safe. But if everybody comes to withdraw the money at the same time, the bank will face a liquidity crisis. Therefore, let the depositors be allowed to withdraw in phases. So, nervous depositors were waiting for RBI tweets or press releases as to when they can withdraw their money from the bank. Additional investors were got into the bank so that the bank does not fail in its capital adequacy compliance. SBI, the largest bank in India, State Bank of India, pumped in capital into Yes Bank. This ensured that Yes Bank kept its commitment to compliance issues of capital adequacy as per Basel III regulations. A new administrator was appointed. The board of directors was shuffled. New people came into place, and the entire management was changed. The main focus for the next 20 months was on recovery of NPAs. This strict focus resulted into Reliance infrastructure assets being sold off to repay the loan. Yes Bank also was able to sell off the ILFS loans to the Bad Bank, which was created by the FinMin as announced by the budget of March, as announced by the budget. And Vodafone debt recast was recast with a new bond borrowing. This positive measures, which Yes Bank announced, resulted into an upgrade by Moody's, the rating agency. Now, this is a statement of confidence. When a rating agency upgrades you, upgrades the borrower, or upgrades the bank, it's a statement that the ratings analyst is now feeling, as driven by data, that the bank is moving towards a better position. The earlier rating of B3 was upgraded to B2. Seeing the ratings upgrade, depositors also got their confidence back and they stopped withdrawing their deposits from the bank, as well as new deposits started coming into the bank. If you like the contents and would like to hear more such stories, do click, share, subscribe, and comment. We are more than happy to provide videos that are relevant and useful to you. Thank you so much.